The first thing I thought we could look at with an unbroken piece of fabric is the duplicate stitch. This mimics the original knit structure, but it means that you can just darn straight over the existing fabric. This isn't for anywhere that has a hole in it, but it's great if you have a piece of stained fabric maybe that you want to cover with an embellishment, or if you just want to add some decorative details. Just to say that I am left-handed, so I'll always start my work moving from left to right, but you can start from right to left if you're right-handed, and as we move through these tutorials I will always show going back in the opposite direction, so you can always skip ahead if that's easier for you to learn from. I'm going to insert my needle just a distance away right at the edge of my sample piece here, and then bring it up through one of those V stitches into position. So you want to come up here at the bottom of one of the V stitches. I'm going to leave a small tail of yarn here, which I'll be weaving in once I finish this technique. And then as you can see, I've brought my thread through at the point of this V stitch here. I'm then going to trace it with my needle and thread. So I'm going to follow it around, push my needle underneath the V stitch above it like that, and then pull that yarn through. What I've done is traced half of that V-stitch here. So I can now go ahead and trace the second half of that V-stitch, and at the same time I'm going to be bringing my needle and thread up into position ready to start the next stitch. I'm going to insert my needle down through where I originally came up at the point of that V, and then I'm going to move across horizontally so that I then bring my needle back up into position at the point of the V-stitch to the right of that first stitch, or to the left if you're doing this right-handed. When I pull that through, you can see that one V-stitch has now been traced and my needle and thread are in position ready to do the same thing again. You might have noticed there that I just played around with the tension already, so if I just pull that thread slightly loose again, this one here is a bit too loose for the rest of the knit stitches around it, so I've got my tail yarn here that I can just gently pull on until that stitch looks even. Let's do that again. I'm going to trace that V-stitch by pushing my needle underneath the V-stitch above it and then pulling that through so that you can see I've traced one half of that second V-stitch. I'm then going to follow that round again, pushing my needle down through the point of that V and then moving horizontally across, and then it brings my needle and thread up into position ready to trace the third stitch. And again, adjust the tension as you need to. I'm going to follow that round again, so you can see that I'm using my fingers just to adjust the tension with every stitch that I do. So I now have 4 of these V stitches, and then on the back you can see, well, you can't see too much actually, but you can just see the loops that you're creating by making those new stitches, and you're following the exact knit structure of the fabric, so it gives a really clean and flat finish. I'm just going to work that stitch a few more times for you to see, and then we will move on to the second row. Now I'm going to show you how to move up one row so that we can start to build up a pattern. So I've just done half a stitch there, tracing that V, but only half of it, because at this point, instead of going back into the point of the V and stitching across horizontally, we're actually going to go into the point and then move up vertically so that we bring our needle up into the V stitch on top of this one. So this is what it will look like when you push your needle through and up again. You're just picking up one bar stitch, and that bar stitch is the loop that you can see on the reverse side. So just one stitch like that, and then when you pull that through, your needle and thread are now in position on the row above, and then we can stitch back across in the opposite direction. This time I'll be working as if I were right-handed. I'll be pushing my needle across, tracing the V-stitch like that. And then again back into the first point and now over to start the next stitch. Again, tracing that V-stitch, going down and across. As you can see, I'm running out of yarn here, so I'm going to push my needle down and through and out to the wrong side. And you can just about see that second row starting to build up. But I'm going to ignore this tail thread for now and join in a new length of yarn. So I'm just going to bring in a new length of yarn with my needle up into position, and I'm going to ignore both of those tail threads for now. We'll be looking at different ways to weave in the ends in another video. So again, I'm tracing that next V-stitch, pulling my yarn through and then moving across. And I'm still going underneath, even though I have these yellow stitches here now. I'm still going to go down through the white fabric as well as the yellow stitches at this point here. I find that this gives the most consistent and even finish, and you can see now that that pattern is starting to build up. We're now at the point where we need to move up again, so we go around the first half of this V-stitch, but then at this point, instead of continuing to move across, we're going to go down through the point, pick up one bar stitch, and then pull our needle and thread through. Now we're in position on row 3. And then to finish, I'll go down through the point of my last stitch. Make sure that everything feels nice and even, adjust the tension as you need to using those tail threads. And then the back of the work will look like this, and those ends are ready to be woven in.